This conference will now be recorded.
So report definition rule can be created under reports category. So if you go to reports category, you will see a number of report definition rules available within PRPC, and those are created by you, or any wizard also will be available when you go to reports. You can open one of the report definition rule. So look at here. This is how a report definition rule looks like. So it will have query tab, chart tab, report viewer, data access. These 4 tabs are primary to and important to understand. Query tab. If it says query, that means it is going to query the database tables. The tab name itself says anything you mention here that will be queried from the table. So if you wanted to fetch the data from table, we have seen one approach of using obj browse using activity. Okay. So other than that, we can also use report definition for the same purpose. So if you are going to run this report definition, look at here. Data has been fetched from states table, and then it is also displayed in the UI. Okay. So when this report definition rule has been created, when we create a new data type, you remember we have created a data type called states under data class, organization data class. That time a class has been created, which we had discussed. A physical table has been created, and then table and class mapping has been done, and then properties are created. Up to that we had discussed. Apart from it, it has also created a rule, report definition rule, with the name data table editor report. Okay, by the name it is data table editor report. So when you run the wizard when you use the wizard to create data type, that wizard, once you complete it, the report definition has been created. So this report definition is going to interact with the table. Which table? States table. Suppose if you go to your activity, browse states activity. If you go to this activity, now whenever you are using obj browse, here you need to give a parameter called obj class, means from which table you wanted to fetch the data. Coming to report definition doesn't take any such parameter, table names and all. It will only take the column names. The reason being, when you are creating report definition itself should be created in the table class. So it will fetch from the same class where it is created. Suppose if I wanted to fetch the data from states table using an activity obj browse, my activity can be in any class, anywhere, no problem. But only thing is the table from which you are fetching, the class name you are referring inside obj browse. Okay, but in case of report definition, it is not like that. If you want to fetch the data from so and so table, report definition has to be created in the same table class. Suppose if you want to fetch the data from 2 tables, one of the class you have to create, and you have to perform joins between the classes. Joins are multiple types of joins available, which we will be working on practically going forward in our future business requirements. Everyone clear with that? So in the query tab, the first parameter what you see, edit columns here. These are the query columns. That means this is select class. Select state code, state name, and so on, so other details. From which table? States table, because report definition itself has been created in the same table. Report definition itself has been created in the same table. Suppose if you have any where conditions, you can define. Let's say where state code starts with so and so, something like this. Starting any state code starting with A, I wanted to go ahead and fetch from the table like this. You can add one more condition where state name, let's say, contains something like this. So you have logic here, F1 and F2, where condition, where state code and state name, both conditions should be satisfied. Suppose if you want it to be R, you can just go ahead and write down R condition here. A and B, RC, if you want to write also, you can write that logical operators of where conditions as per your wish and according to business requirement. Like this, the select class and where class parameters you can give in the report definition rule. Report definition rule is going to fetch the data from the table, and in which format the results will be. What is the format on the clipboard? Like, is it a single value property or a page property or page list property? It is going to be a page list property. So whenever you are using report definition, it is going to display the data like page property. Again, internally report definition also executes activities. I told you, right? For every action, PRPC is going to execute activities, but that is OOTB activity, not written by us. That activity again may use obj browse functionality. Obj browse method internally might be used. So ultimately, your report definition rule is it can be used in order to fetch the data from the table. It is not only fetching, it also has the capability to display it in the UI. Okay, display is also being done. But activity, if you run activity, will only fetch the data using obj browse. Display and all we have to implement by ourselves in case of activities and all. So now this report definition rule you can use in order to query the data from the table and display it to users, and also you can join between the tables, multiple tables. If you wanted to join 2 or more tables, you can perform join. There are different types of joins which I'll tell you later. Also it has additional capabilities. That is, suppose you just see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose, okay, if you go to charts tab, you don't see anything because you must have to save a report with at least one aggregate column available. So let's go ahead with state name count. I've taken count. Okay, that's it. Come to charts tab now. So include a chart, you got the option because we have at least one aggregate column, and you can go ahead and add x-axis, something like this. Okay, now accordingly based on the data that is going to be retrieved, you will see x-axis and y-axis during the display and all. Okay, so what is the chart type that you wanted to go ahead and use? So there are different types of charts available. So you wanted to display your chart like this one, like a normal pie chart, something like this, then it can be displayed. Okay, if you wanted to display, generally I have taken example columns, but if you have some calculation, something like that, then it will be more meaningful to understand. So if you execute the report definition, there is nothing data repeated and all, everything is unique, so you don't see anything here. So like this, if you wanted to display as chart, when you have aggregate columns and all, you can use. So the display like charts and all ought to be available in report definition rules. Okay, now apart from this, what are the other features? Just to give you information about complete information about report definition, you can just see here. So if you go to report viewer tab, okay, so here you have an option display in report browser. By default it is not selected. Okay, so what is the name of the report definition? Data table editor report, right? Okay, so whenever managers are going to log into PRPC, let's say they are going to see PRPC environment like this, they will not be having access to directly open the rules and run the rules. They will have to execute anything from here. So one of the tab is available here. What is the tab? Reports. If you click on this, if manager is going to click on the reports tab, so here you can see how all the reports, in all the reports, so the data table editor report, right? Is it available? It is not available because here display in report viewer is not selected. So once a developer is going to create this, if he is going to select this checkbox and analyze performance some category, okay, once it is been selected and saved, let me check in into new version. Okay, let me remove this chart and all. I don't want this actually. Now I'm going to talk about this one. So once this report is available, made available in report browser, I'm going to check into version 2. So now I have chosen an option called make it available in report browser. Now from this moment onwards, any manager, any operator, it's not manager, any operator, when whoever has access to use these reports. Suppose if you go to user, here you have another one called worker, means user type. This is manager portal, this is user. I'll talk about portals again sometime later. Here you go. He doesn't have that reports and all. Only manager has that reports access. When manager is going to log in, that means whoever the operator who has access to this reports navigation here. So when they click on reports, they will go to all reports. Why it is not available? Did I save this and check in?
Maybe you have to log off.
No need to log off. This is the name of the report definition. Let me do one thing. Hang on. I'll just show you another way around. You know how to create an operator, right? Okay. But I will be doing this to create new manager operator. What is our application? Hano, right? Hano MNGR1. Hano MNGR1. I'm taking the operator ID like this. So you don't bother about how to create manager operator ID and all, which we'll be learning later. Direct, I will be using direct login. If not, I'll create a new report and show you. Actually, it should show some reports here. Some unique name I'll create and show you. I don't know why it is not coming. It must come. Okay, I'll do one thing. Hang on. I'll be creating one report with unique name. Save as test in my application framework. Create and open. I don't want all this. Okay, save and check it. Does this have this report viewer? Display in report viewer? You can say, let's say open case is something. You can select any category. Category doesn't matter at all. Why it is not properly loading this?
Maybe do we have to search with the report title?
No, it should come automatically. It should come. Just I'll show you. Just hang on. Hano MNGR1. Previously, how many reports it was? Total it was showing as 56, right? What is the report I have created now? Test. Okay, this is the report. Is this the one same I have created? Let me go ahead and run this and see. If I click on open, I'll come to know. This is not this one. This one. Not this one. It should show clearly here. I don't know why it is taking my time. States. What is this? 2 minutes ago, right? About a minute ago. What is the name I have given? States test, right?
Report
okay, let me
title.
go ahead. Where is the report title?
In the screen you are sharing. See there, first field, report title.
Okay, report title is states. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead now and open this. Now your report definition will be displayed here. Maybe I have where condition something here. So I have where condition where state code starts with A. Suppose if I remove this and see once, you must have to check in. Without check-in, it should not be available. Okay, it is displaying by title. So open this. Again, that is not satisfied. I'll remove that one also, just to get entire data. I think it should contain everything actually. So let's go ahead now. My reports. So here you go with states and then open this time. I'll refresh here itself. It is still picking the same. Okay, so now I have removed all the conditions. You have got the report definition. So report definition, once you create, that can be made available to managers. Managers still have the feature of editing the conditions. They can go and edit the condition here and there. They can change it and then execute the reports. It's not only execute the reports. See, what they can do is they can just go ahead and schedule the reports. This is additional feature. So let me show you the schedule wizard just for your information. So here you go. Scheduling means when this report definition has to be executed. So all this will be done without any manual interaction. So generally we are logging into manager ID and then we are going to choose this and execute. This is manual process. If manager when he log in, he wanted to see the data, but not like this. Suppose you have a report definition where it has to be automatically executed every day, so that it will pull some work objects from the work table, and this data what is being pulled has to be converted into XML format or PDF format that should be attached in the email, and an email should be sent to so and so operator. If that is the business requirement, generally in any other programming language you have to implement all this by yourself, okay, as a background job processing, something like that. But coming to Pega, so here PRPC is going to provide a scheduler. In the scheduler you choose the options, time of the day, let's say 10 p.m, one time or recurring task. You can choose daily. What days? Every weekday or every 3 days, you can go ahead and choose that. And starting from when? Starting from 21st of this month. So no end date, means it will run forever. If you give end date, after the end date it will get automatically been stopped. And now output file format. So every day at 10 p.m, starting from 21st of this month, this report will get automatically executed in the background. It will run in the background, and the execution after it is going to generate a PDF file or Excel file accordingly, what is the option you have chosen, and it will be sent to one of the operator. Operator means if you open the operator profile, operator rule form, every operator should have a valid email address. What is this? Admin impl @ okay, this is, let's say, like this. So this is to this email address, whichever the operator ID you have given, the operator's email ID will be read from operator profile. That is to email. So to email will be read from operator profile, and an email will be sent attaching a PDF or Excel workbook containing the results of this report definition. From email, details and all will be read from some other place that we will be learning while we are working with email integrations and all. Okay, this feature to implement in other technologies, it will take some time, but Pega has OODB features. So creating a report definition has many advantages over activity. So if you wanted to browse the data from the table, if you write activity obj browse, that will browse and keep on the clipboard. After that, what is that you are going to do with the data is up to you. But additional features OODB are not available. Same if you create as a report definition rule, you can use it in order to fetch the data from the table and place it on the clipboard. That is basic requirement. Plus, it will also display the data. Plus, this report can be assigned to manager. If you want to assign it to managers to make it available in report browser, you can make it available. Otherwise, if you uncheck this checkbox, it will not be available. You can only use it during the processing. Okay, they can manually access the report. Apart from this, they can also schedule the report in order to run the report on scheduled time basis, and it will automatically generate the Excel or PDF document, and an email notification also will be sent attaching this document to someone. So these are all the basic features available. Apart from this, you have joins and all. So these joins and all, if you wanted to do in activity, it is difficult. Okay, using obj browse, you wanted to fetch data from 2 tables, it will be difficult. Okay, so report definition has additional features of joins as well. So even though you do not want to perform all this task, only browsing the data from the table, still you have to create report definition over activity as a best practice. Suppose in future, if you wanted to extend the features of this report definition to run it on a schedule basis and all, you have a simple wizard provided. You do the configurations in the wizard. For that, there is no programming techniques required. Okay, this is clear, everyone. So like this, report definition has many advantages compared to activity when it comes to fetching the data from the table. Okay, using an activity, we can save the data back into tables, but report definition doesn't have that feature. We can use OBS save method and then save it, but leave about saving the data and updating the data. We'll talk about only reporting. Means you are going to fetch the data from the tables and give it for analysis purpose. So that is why report definition rules are being introduced for the same purpose. So reporting feature also included in Pega OOTP itself. It is available OOTP, and you can also create your own reports. There are many OOTP reports available already with respect to work objects. Okay, so like this, if you are going to use report definition rule over activity, it has many advantages. Even though it executes activities in the background, those are OOTP activities. So executing OOTP activities, Pega PRPC environment performance will be good. How it will be good and all, I'll tell you sometime later. But writing your own activities, you may make some mistakes and performance may go down. Okay, so like this, Pega systems always suggest, okay, whenever you are using Pega rules process command environment to implement a business logic, if you are trying to write your own activities, first thought is you have to go ahead and check OOTP activities are already available in PRPC with same functionality being implemented or not. If available, do not write your activity, use OOTP activity. Let's say OOTP activities are not available. Then you have to look for alternate rules to implement the same. One of the alternate rule is report definition. Other alternate rules are data transforms, declarative rules, case management techniques, all this. And if not possible with any of these, still you need activity, then only you have to create activity. This is clear? So still, if you cannot avoid writing your own activities, then only you have to create activities. That means you should have thorough knowledge about PRPC, Pega rules process commanders environment in order to avoid writing activities. Okay, about multiple rules you should know. I will talk about OOTP activities later. We'll be using. Okay, I have shown you right already send email notification activity that you can use in order to send email notification. Other OOTP activities we are going to work on. Okay, this is clear, everyone. So the same requirement which we have implemented to browse the data from the table and to populate in the drop down. Okay, now we are going to implement the same by using report definition rule. As of now, report definition rule we are going to use for this business requirement as an alternate solution of activity. So we'll talk about this joins and all after some time. Okay, that requires more knowledge, property optimization and all. Yes, someone online was asking something. Who was that?
Yeah, Praveen here also.
Yes, please.
Actually, the activity what you are creating, we can use that one in the sections and all those things, right? So these reports, can't we do like that, right?
Sorry, activity that we are creating?
No, the object browse and all those things, all the activities what we are creating. In turn, those activities we are using in the sections also. In the section user controls and all those things. But the reports what we are creating, we can't use like that, right?
For the reports, we got?
For the reports, what we are in the report definition, automatically it will create when this data class create, right? So report definition can we use in the sections and all those things?
We can use it. We can use it. Report definition can be called from multiple different places. When you come to drop down, on drop down we have as defined on property and clipboard page activity data transform. One more option is report definition and other option is data page. Inside data page again we can call report definition. In the section using table layouts and all we can call report definition. While we are working with table layouts, I'll tell you that. Okay. So in sections also we can call, but activity can do many other things other than what report definition does. Report definition purely for the purpose of communicating with the tables and bringing up the data, and you can use it for analysis, you can schedule it, and you can generate Excel workbook, something like that, and automatic emails can be sent when you schedule the report definition, and joins can be performed. This is purely interaction with databases, but activity is not only for that purpose. Activity can do anything. So in Pega, entire PRPC is activity only. Okay, everything that is available in PRPC is Every action you perform in the backend, activity runs. Okay, that means activity can do everything. So that's why in order to avoid writing activities, it's not only one alternate, multiple alternates. That is report definitions, data transforms, data pages, and then case management techniques. And what else I've given here? Multiple rules you can go ahead and you can write. All these rules together, functionalities will be available in activities. Okay, so activity can do anything in Pega. So the report definition which is being created by default when you create a new table and all, if you want to make use of this report definition, you can make use, but generally we don't use it. So if you want to make use of this one to populate the drop down, you can directly make use of it. But as a learning practice, we will just go ahead and see how to create a report definition by ourselves and how to choose the columns and how to call it from the refer it data drop down. All this we'll do step by step in detail. Everyone clear with this?
Hey
Okay.
Harsha, this one is by default it was created, or we created this one, table report?
This one I did not create. When you create table, right? After you create table, immediately go to this class. You see properties and you see report definition with the name data table editor report. The name itself says data table editor report. Let me tell you more about this one. Hang on. So here you go with records tab. So here the data is being displayed. Just hang on. Oh, did I modify anything in data table editor report? That will reflect here. If I modify data table editor report, that will be reflected here. Just hang on. So generally we should not modify this. See, when I make modifications, my table also got, data also got modified. That means that report is the one which is getting executed whenever you come to records tab here. Refresh this. Okay, now you have all this data. Now look at here. See the data that you see here, it is being fetched from the table and displayed here. This is a section, ODB section. To display this user data in UI, it is internally using report definition. What is the name of the report definition? Data table editor report. To know that, if you come here and if you make any changes and save into the valid and check in, then that will be reflected here. Previously we have seen only one record with where conditions and all. Now you see all the data from the table. So in order to display here this wizard, data type wizard, in order to display the table data and edit the table data, what is being used? The default report definition that is being created by Pega, that is data table editor report. The name itself says this report can be used in order to edit the table. Okay, you make modifications here accordingly. Suppose if I come here and if I'm going to remove one of the property, one of the column, where is it? If I'm going to remove this, so data that you see will in the data table editor report here is only one column you will see. So that column data you will not be getting it because it is not being fetched, but backend it will be there. Okay, so that is why the name of the report definition rule that gets created by default when you create data type is data table editor report. So try avoid using this. Let's create our own report definition rule in states class. Everyone clear with this? This is theory about report definition rules. Let me summarize. A report definition rule can be used in order to interact with any of the tables, fetch the data and display it in UI, and you can also have some aggregate columns and all. It can be displayed like charts and all in the user interface. It can be referred at drop down sections, and it can also be referred from other different rules, data pages and all. And report definition rule can be made available in the report viewer for other operators. Whoever has access to that report viewer, they should be able to execute report definition. When you select the checkbox of what is the checkbox option? Display in report browser, and from there it can be scheduled. Scheduling a report definition will give the features of executing it in the background on schedule basis, generating an Excel or PDF workbook, and an email also will be automatically sent given you have chosen the options accordingly. So that is going to reduce a lot of work for the developer. Actually, this and all has to be implemented by ourselves in any other programming language. But this is what we available in Pega by using simple form-based programming model. This is what called as form-based programming model. Everyone clear with this? So given a requirement, if you have to fetch the data from the table and the data which should be converted into Excel format and should be emailed to someone, how long it will take? It will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. But in other programming languages and all, it will take a lot of time. Okay, that is the advantage of Pega with respect to development. Okay, joins also we can perform. We can perform different types of joins, which we'll be discussing later. Okay, this is clear. So let's go ahead and work on report definition rule. This theory video I will be giving it in the